Hello everyone, welcome back to hour number 3 of Die Party Hollow Earth Expedition for Die Party Game Day, where we've got just so much fucking TTRPG going on. It's just flying out of our TTRPG pause. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, welcome back. Wreckage, tell us about all the cool things that we could do now.
You guys were in the middle of a conversation. Frank was just about to recount his experience with the gate in the basement of the monastery.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I was sitting there. I lost track of time. My pants had dried to a clammy dampness. I was getting a funny itch in my junk, and a couple of monks walked down. Now the monks went to the door. They reached into their robes right around their chest, and they pulled something in their hands that looked like a necklace. They muttered something into the hand, and then all the stuff opened up. And then, everything closed up, and I walked out, pulled my soggy pants away from my itching junk, and went back to you guys. Went back to Otto.
I have a question for you, Arch. Would you happen to recall the faces of the monks?
Did I have an
No.
angle to see them? No.
You were getting them from sort of 45 degrees behind to the right or whatever. Like you saw you were looking at the back of their head where the head meets the ear, pretty much.
What about the clothing?
They all wear the same clothing.
Yeah, they're...
What
Did
about
any of
the
them have,
heights?
a weird birthmark or something?
Anything that can distinguish these people from the other people?
He would have a decent idea of how tall they were, but...
Alright, well, basically I see this as going down the road of we need to take whatever this thing is around their neck and,
Yep. So, yeah, breathe on it, apparently. Makes it glow.
Alright.
According to Otto there. So,
I mean, there are two ways that we could go about this. The first is we could reconstruct an entire thing, which could potentially take weeks of silently and stealthily scraping away the bar, or...
Well, you don't even know that that's what that is, so
Yeah, well...
that could all be for nothing.
That's alright, just let me continue being Rex.
Uh-huh.
Or we could... I don't know, take whatever the key is. I mean, it sounds like I can't pick my way through this one, so we're just going to have to take what is...
no, yeah. My vote, I was checking the dorms or something. I figured unless they're wearing these things all the time, never taking them off, we should be able to swipe one from somewhere. Or we can kind of just, do some mild kidnapping and tying them up or something.
Oh yeah, just mild kidnapping.
Mild kidnapping, yeah.
I mean, we're not going to beat them to death. We're just going to kind of
the kind of kidnapping
should,
that you do over summer break as a
Who's
teenager.
this third person in the...
Yeah.
fourth person in the room with us? That's really weird.
Yeah, but, so it's we're going to have to get one of them things, and I don't want to have to kill these monks, even though they are thieving bastards.
Well, you do recall that we do have at our disposal some idiotic people that we could potentially throw at a monk wall in order to see what we can get from.
That is true. I vote... Let's see if we can get it without alerting the monks to our ideas first.
You mean aside from always going down there and making loud noises?
What are you talking about? I'm a raging alcoholic. I drink myself silly all the time. And I've got the empty mugs and steins to show for it.
Fair enough. What about you, Otto? Where do you sit on this conundrum?
Well, I want to get to the other side of that just like you.
Okay. Are you willing to break a few noses together?
I would very much prefer if it did not come to that. I think that with some additional scrapings from the bars, get more of this this turquoise material, we might be able to make our own approximation and perhaps get through. I believe it to be activated by carbon dioxide from one's breath.
All right. And where do you suppose these... I'm not a man of science, so you're going to have to help me out here, but do you happen to know that potentially we could find a actual resource of this, whatever it is, out in the wild? Or do you suppose that this is something that they've come up with from another place that we are unaware of?
I could not begin to guess where they obtained the material.
All right then. So I really do not have the time to be sitting around waiting for you to scrape a door, unfortunately, Otto. As much as I'd love to, and as much as this place has been very, very accommodating, ideally, I would like to get behind this grate, get you what you need, get us what we need, and get out. So the fastest way to that point is probably the one that I would suggest going with.
So I suppose that means the plan is to forcibly, perhaps violently compel someone to help us in.
Well, not so much that, but more of get someone to get us in. Could potentially be an option. We don't necessarily have to hurt them to do it. Because I assume that if the monks are anything like the monks that we've dealt with before, they're probably very handedly capable of dealing with actual violent confrontations. As my dear friend Arch here has experienced firsthand.
I'm gonna rub my nose or my jaw thoughtfully.
Well, I will do my best to help. However, I am worse than useless in a fight, so let us hope
Well,
that
I
it
was
does
more
not
like
come to that.
going to say approach the Archbishop. Wait, no, what are we calling him? Fuck.
Mom.
Abbott.
Oh,
Abbott.
yeah.
Abbott.
Yes.
Shazragal.
Yes. So maybe approach him and see if we can actually, well, I don't know, get one of these necklaces. I mean, you're a man of science. He gave you a giant fucking diamond.
Yes, he did give me a giant diamond. However, it is noteworthy that anything that he has that he has given from the various stores, have been things that are either non-lethal or not
I don't see
useful.
how
in
a turquoise diamond or gemstone is going to be useful to him, unless he assumes that we know what we know. If he does,
I think there is no way for us to get around the things that he will know that we are aware and what we are trying to do once we begin asking for the keys to the repository.
well, I mean, we don't have to actually ask for the keys. We can ask for the materials to build the key instead of actually scraping it from the wall. You could say something along the lines of, I need further gemstones to complete my scientific endeavors. Do you happen to have a ruby and a turquoise and I don't know, something else?
And a spare monk with a couple necklaces we can borrow.
Well, you don't have to go that far, but, you know.
Honestly, we are probably best off trying to steal one of these,
Yeah,
or
I'd
whatever
rather
it
try to
is that
swipe
the
some.
monks are using. It is probably more advisable for us to attempt to steal one, or appropriate one, rather than to try asking for it. I do not see this turning out well.
I'm with Otto
Alright.
on this one.
Okay, fantastic. I will set that plan in motion.
If I may recommend, getting him drunk first, and then lifting the thing. In the cinema, back in Germany, it's a very popular tactic.
Well, first things
Ooh.
first, we need to actually find out whether
Drinking
or not
contest.
all monks actually do have these things. So, you know, there's that.
Well, worst case scenario, we get one drunk, we find out they don't.
Rick.
Yeah, hi.
Can I remember any monks that had any sort of necklace or any sort of gemstones around them at all?
No, because they wear layered robes.
Okay, but any sort
You've
of
not-
like
you've not seen
necklace-
anything.
You can tell when a guy's wearing a necklace if he's wearing robes and stuff. And like, I might not have
Nope,
seen what's
you
on
can't.
the end of the necklace, but
No, you can't.
all right. So suddenly,
because the way-
I don't know. All right.
Yeah.
Well then.
Well, they wear many layers, and just to point out for the sake of Arch, he did see them, you know, reach in and take it out of their robe, and then he saw that it was a necklace that he was wearing, but before that, it was obscured by his robe.
All right, I got the perfect plan. Instead of actually like doing anything with these monks, why don't we just I don't know, steal their belongings when they're in the bath? That seems like the most obvious way. of
That
doing
was
this.
actually my next question, or my next idea. I figured a lot of them are going to be going to lunch. We could probably rifle through some of their stuff, or we can just kind of bust in and grab something. Do they keep their stuff with them in the bath, or do they tend to leave it outside where it can be
I don't
easily
know.
washed?
I've never seen a man in the bathtub before here, aside from myself. I did know that
This
they...
is the 30s. They're a lot less likely to think things were gay back then.
Well, I don't mind going in there.
There's also monks in a Oh,
I'm not suggesting anything like that. I just want to know whether... Alright, so here's the plan. I'm going to go have a bath with one of these men later tonight.
with one of these men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just going to
You're going to invite him into your bath.
No. I'm going to invite myself into his bath.
Oh, I want to see this. So.
These are one-person sized baths, but okay, let's see how that works. Well, I mean,
that's fine. That's fine. I have a perfect plan for how this is going to work out. So.
Hey, Herr Otto, do you know? Can you play the accordion or the violin or something romantic sounding?
I do have some expertise in the sea accordion, but I do not have one.
I will get up and walk away from the house now.
All right, so
This could be amazing. This is better than my idea to sleep all day through the... Oh no, I'm gonna help him. I'm gonna help him every step of the way. I want to see what happens.
Well, it's probably best if no one else is there, but I don't, because no one else that I know of is versed in sleight of hand or anything like that. So
I got stealth, actually.
Stealth is not what you need. You need larceny.
Yeah, you need larceny, sleight of hand.
If you don't want to do a bath, you could do maybe like I know they do those sweat lodge thingies. You can probably just do like make a sauna. And say I want to invite some monks or whatnot to share in the sauna.
Incredibly elaborate.
It's a tent. It's a tent with a fire in the middle and some rocks. That's all it is.
Again, incredibly elaborate.
But yeah.
Why don't if you follow me out,
you
I'm
just
like,
charmed your way into the bath with a monk.
No,
That's less elaborate.
Well, I'm capable of these things, so I'm going.
All right, no, go. I want to see this.
So while I'm doing this, why don't you see if you can investigate the living quarters and see if you can find anything there?
Yeah. All right. The thing is that they seem to be pretty busy. I'm thinking during mealtimes or during. Yeah, mealtimes might be my best bet to poke around with at least people.
Why don't you go even like... I mean, you're a man that can get around, so why don't you just stealth your way in when they're sleeping or something?
Because my stealth is these guys are my stealth is, I'm rather stealthy. If I had to rate my stealthiness on a arbitrary number or something, it would be a 5. Or no, it would be a level of 2, so it would be a total of 5.
Okay.
Which
I have the utmost faith that you will be able to do what you do.
I don't.
I give him a smart ass look and then I head out.
Yeah. So let's time warp to bath time, I suppose.
Yeah, I want to see.
Well, I'm not time warping anywhere. Otto, do you? These guys have left having some sort of argument about getting into bathtubs with men. What are your plans for the day?
I've got the vial with me, by the way.
That's a really good question. Honestly, it sounds like pretty much everything's covered. There's no real need for me to do one thing or the other. So, Otto's going to try working up some sort of an experiment with the diamond. Perhaps something with light isolation or I don't know. Diamondology, not one of my fields.
Diamondology. Are you going to try and make a diamondium shield to?
Ooh, that's glorious. I like that. No.
Or perhaps diamondillium.
Oh gosh, what am I trying to think of? There's a specific type of looking at stuff through light.
Prisms?
No, yeah, kind of like prisms, but they do it with stars all the time. It's
the refraction that breaks all the light of the different components depending on how they have the what chemical makeup of it is.
Yes, I'm just having the biggest mind fart ever. Anyway, I don't know how useful a diamond's going to be for that, but that's what the diamond's got Otto thinking about that. So he's going to start trying to work on an apparatus for analyzing the turquoise colored dust based on its refraction of the visible light spectrum. So
That's a interesting way of...
Well, the thing is, all we've got is unobtrusive investigation methods are pretty much all that we've got.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, I don't know. I am not a scientist. I don't know how useful a fist-sized diamond can be in analyzing the
really handy at
spectrum
cannon.
refractivity of.
Also, it's like...
Spectroscopy. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with me?
Also,
yes.
it brings up the point of, like, how much of this is worth covering in a pulpy game at the same point? Like is there anything...
It's
that
his
can-
character, and
Yeah, true.
it's really just roundabout science, Star Trekky science. Too much air in a balloon for him to solve problems.
Okay. I'm having a hard time getting Otto to come in on this grand scheme, you know what I mean?
Well, that's
Like,
because you keep fucking not trusting him.
well, I trust him. It's just that...
Yeah, that's kind of on you. I'm like, let's get him in here. He's,
He keeps
So-
he keeps saying that he's down to do the things.
I mean,
It-
it's unless he's willing to jump into a bathtub with me and another monk.
Well, apparently it's not gay.
Apparently that's the only way you can think of to do this.
Well, no,
and
okay, you're like, you've never seen if he has it around his neck, and I'm like, fuck it, I'll see the man naked and see if he has it. Like, that is
Okay.
number one rule of, like, finding out whether he has a tattoo of a fucking tiger on his stomach. You gotta see that man naked, alright?
Well, okay.
So-
go to the
works.
beach.
This is
so,
Pulp, man. You gotta see, the bait and tackle. You gotta do
So
everything.
what is your plan then to get in? Like, what are you doing right
It's pretty
now?
easy. Like, here's what's gonna happen. Bathtub
Excuse me.
rolls around.
There's no bath time.
Well, you
The-
said that there was, like, times when monks go bathe. Like,
Well, the bath houses, the rooms in which there are baths are
Yes.
always open,
Yes.
and monks come and go from them as they decide to bathe.
fine,
So there's no-
I will stake out the bathtubs.
Right. So you're
and I
going to
will
stake out the
wait
bathtubs.
for
All
the
right, that's
man to
fine.
show up.
That works. You will, and you're waiting specifically for a monk.
Yeah, I will wait for, like, the telltale signs of someone bathing, as in, like, the water is heating up. There's steam coming out from underneath.
Well,
the
you're
door.
staking out the bathrooms in general. So
Yeah. And then
you
I
don't-
will find the one that he's in, and after I'm...
Well, so here's what's going to happen.
Hmm.
Some people who aren't monks are going to take some baths. Villagers, even one of your mafia friends comes in for a bath, and is briefly like, "Oh, hey, what's going on?"
Who is it?
One of the nameless
It's
NPCs.
a nameless guy I don't give a fuck about. I don't
Yeah.
even... I'm just like, What? Oh, yes. And then
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
go back to being whatever, and he's like, fucking asshole. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Weirdo.
Your impatience starts to kick in, but eventually
Good point. Yeah, how long do I have to wait for a monk to show up? That's a good point.
it's a couple hours. I mean, no monk has taken a bath yet. Some villagers,
Nobody's
some
taken a bath since the beginning of Shangri-La, and they're not going to start now.
no one's taken a bath yet, or no monk anyway. And a couple hours pass, and you get a little bored, but eventually a monk does take a bath.
All right, I do my best to make note of which one he goes into.
He goes into one of them. You can quite easily tell the difference between which one he goes into and which one he doesn't.
All right, I will wait until I hear him actually enter the bath.
Do you go up against the door to listen?
Sure, why not?
All right. Well, then you can hear when he gets into the bath.
All right, then I proceed to go into the room.
It's locked.
This is just getting
I
creepier
will
and
pick the
creepier.
lock.
All right.
I always feel like somebody's watching me.
Unfortunately, you can't pick the lock because it's not a keyhole lock. It's just it's a latch. It's like a bathroom stall type lock where you go in and from the inside you turn a thing and it makes a latch.
So how is it that a monk was able to come into my bathtub?
You
When-
didn't lock it. She walked in,
Don't give me
closed
that
the door.
shit. Do
You
not
did!
give me that shit.
That's exactly what I am. That's exactly the shit I'm giving you.
Oh my
because
god, this is
the
the.
first time you were ever in the bathroom, you went in, you just started doing your shit,
All
and a
right,
monk came
rule
in.
number one. I always, in real life, 100% of the time, lock the fucking door when I'm in the bathroom. Hey, I'll do it in my ensuite bathroom. I will lock that fucking bathroom door. Are you telling me that, given the option, Rex
Apparently
would be
doesn't.
like, hey man, there's a lock here? Fuck it. Strange place. Doesn't matter. I'm not locking the door. Is
Well,
that
it
what
was-
you're telling me?
I'm telling you that it wouldn't have been immediately obvious to you
Ugh.
that there was even a lock.
Alright, well, that's fucking exciting. And here I was thinking that the entire time the locks would be open because a monk walked in on me. Right? So that's why this whole plan was coming together for me. And you're probably thinking, well, alright, we'll let you do this. So that is the
Yeah,
whole...
it's like,
That is the whole point of me wanting to do this, by the way.
okay, I understand now. Where you're honestly, Dave, I'm still a little uncertain. You're just gonna walk in and look at him. That's fine.
He's gonna breathe heavily and
It's
giggle
like-
a little bit
You
too.
made it sound like you were gonna fucking roll seduction against this guy.
No,
after-
I was gonna like walk in and be like, "Oh, there's someone already in here with me," and then I would like do sleight of hand to like, I don't know, rumble through his clothing if he's not wearing a necklace with
While
a
he's
giant
watching you?
fucking thing around it. Like it was gonna.
Oh,
be...
hey, don't mind me. Just gonna rummage through the clothing here.
Well,
Oh, but you see, I am a master of sleight of hand. So the fact that my arms are inside your pile of clothing, you can't. Sorry, it's just kind of amusing. But yes, you theoretically could have just looked at his neck and seen if he was presently wearing.
that was
a-
the entire reason for me doing this. But now that I know that magically there's a lock on here that I wasn't aware
This
of before.
bathroom store. It's similar to the way that bathroom stalls work, where they have the thing that is just a latch, and on if you could fit something through the seam of the door and the wall and try and
All
jimmy.
right, then I'm just gonna knock
What?
on the door. I'm just gonna knock on the door since apparently there's a lock now. I'm knocking
Okay,
on that door.
knock on the door.
Yes, I knock on the door.
You hear a response that is not in English first, because you don't say anything. I assume.
I will repeat whatever phrases I've heard from monks previously.
Okay. There's a pause, and then you hear something in a different language, sort of quizzically.
If I've heard that language before, I will then repeat what I've heard in that language before.
And there's a pause, and they try a different language.
If I've heard that language before from the monks, I will repeat.
And there's a different language.
This will
This
keep
one's a little
going
more-
until I've run out of languages that I haven't heard monks say.
Eventually, he's like, "Do you speak English?"
Yes.
Oh, okay. What do you need, and why were you trying all of those other languages that you clearly don't speak?
I was wondering if you could potentially help me. I have trouble bathing myself. So I was waiting for a monk to come in so that I could potentially have some help.
Okay.
This is the shittiest porno ever.
No, but this actually could work.
Roll a con.
Okay, con for me is charisma, so this is going to be terrible, but whatever.
Do you even have the con skill?
No, I have one die in charisma, so this is going to fail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can't even
Oh.
succeed because
Yeah, well, I mean, like, you know what? You can do what you want, but it is completely obvious that Rex is, like, lame. So I don't know if that helps in any way or whatever, but that is basically what happens.
well, I mean, maybe it could have, but the way that you went about it certainly didn't call attention to your bum leg or anything like that. You simply knock on the door and have this bizarre exchange where you keep saying different languages, misplaced phrases, and then eventually he works his way to English. And at this point, this monk is thinking, this guy is insane. And he rounds it out with, "I have trouble bathing myself. Could you please help me?"
What do you want me to do? The guy with fucking impeccable understanding about fucking, like, remembering things somehow forgot to realize there was a lock on the fucking bathroom door because he's been in there before. God damn it. Anyway, what do you...
He was in there, but he didn't ever lock the door or
You've never told me there was a fucking lock on the... Oh, okay, anyway, we won't repeat this, but...
Yes. You the man inside, there is a pause.
Yeah.
There's a weighty pause.
Uh-huh.
Pregnant pause. And you hear him get out of the bathwater.
Yes.
And he says something under his breath.
Perfect.
And you hear some shuffling. And still with water dripping from himself and his clothes now slightly wet like a bathrobe.
Mm-hmm.
He opens the door and he puts a firm hand on your shoulder and starts leading you away. And he says, "Are you all right? Have you been drinking enough fluids? Have you been out in the sun all day?"
Yes to everything. Where is he leading me?
Just away.
All right. How well is he dressed? Can I get a look at his fucking neck? Can we get something out of this, please?
Pat him on the shoulder, see if you can feel a chain.
Yeah, I'm gonna basically do my best to sort of like put my hand on his chest, to feel around the area where the necklace would be.
Sure, you just put a hand on his chest, and start feeling around.
Yeah, it's already awkward. Let's make it more awkward. Let's go.
Let's just crank it up to 11.
Yeah.
You don't feel anything other than the fabric of the robes.
Mm-hmm.
He also looks very concerned at you, and is continuing to lead you through the monastery. He seems to be leading you outside.
So what about the bath?
He says, "We'll get clean after."
He licks the gap between his teeth.
Don't make it weird, guys. I have an objective here.
Dave,
It's super weird, Dave.
Dave, I don't think we're making this weird. I'm sorry. This is beautiful.
It's all right. You'll be okay. Just come with me.
At this point, if I know he doesn't have the necklace, I'm just like, okay, and then I walk away from him.
As you try to walk away, he maintains the firm grip on your shoulders. He restates, "It's okay. You'll be all right. Just come with me. I think you need to lay down a little bit."
I'm perfectly capable of getting to where I need to go to lay down. I was, in fact, more interested in bathing, but since you don't want to help me, I guess I'll go drown myself in one of the pools. Maybe even a river. And I say that, and I put my cane on his hand, and I try and pull it down to, remove his hand from my shoulder.
It is strong like a branch of oak. He's leading you to the second floor.
Okay.
There is a room there
Okay.
that appears to have a cot in it.
All right, then.
He tries to lay you down on the cot.
Does he take off my pants?
No.
All right, good, then.
Yeah, he asked your permission too, though.
Yeah.
You tell him no politely.
So I'm just like, am I free to leave whenever I like, or am I here permanently?
I'm going to get you a cup of tea and just lie down for a little bit.
All right.
I think
that'd be really nice of you. Thank you.
I think you need to recenter yourself. And he makes a cup of tea in the room. There's some herbal stuff in there, and he makes you a cup of tea.
Is this a separate room from the living quarters of the monks, or is this in the living quarters of the monks?
It's noticeably different, but it's in the same place.
All right.
Area.
Okay. What are the herbs that he's putting in there?
You don't recognize them.
Okay. Does he give me the tea?
Yeah.
I will sip out the tea, but I won't put any in my mouth.
So you're just making the noise and not drinking any?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. smells good. And after you, after you pretend to drink with your horrible con skill that can't possibly succeed,
Oh no, there's no way. Like, there is no way that Rex is like being fucking not obvious about this. By the way.
yeah, well,
So-
yeah, there's no way he's not super obvious.
Yeah. It's like, great tea. Yeah.
He gives you a strange look, and he then wraps up a warm towel.
Okay. Where's he getting?
Beats you with it.
How is he heating up all these things? By the way.
He seemed to produce this from a bowl that was next to the cabinet that had the
Alright.
herbs in it.
Okay. Yeah.
It's slightly wet. He wrings it out,
Mhm.
but there is steam rising from it slightly. And he tries to lay you down in the bed.
It's like, I'm perfectly capable of putting myself to sleep. Thank you very much. I'm not a child.
I
I just need help bathing.
Please, just lie down for a moment.
I'm perfectly capable of putting myself to sleep. I'm not a child. I just need assistance bathing.
Yeah. Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
can't write this stuff.
I lay down and let him do whatever he fucking needs to do in an attempt to get him away from me.
He puts the warm towel over your eyes after folding it.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, please lie down and recollect yourself. Meditate here for a moment. Recoup from the heat of the day.
I will.
And he will leave after a few moments.
The moment I hear him leave, I get up and I start to investigate the sleeping quarters of the monks.
There's
Okay.
people here.
Like, in the room with me right now?
There's people in the dorms in general.
Alright, well, I'm just gonna still investigate them. It doesn't matter. I'm here. I might as well do it.
So it doesn't matter at all.
Nope.
All right, so you just start shifting through people's things while they're watching
No,
you.
I go through the room and I sort of look around and I make note of anything that seems like we could come back later and go straight towards, that sort of thing. I'm not going to just
Sure.
start going through people's stuff while people are there.
So the layout of the dorms is there are separate rooms. In the rooms, there are a number of bunk beds, and there are also at the wardrobe-esque style like cabinets. And those are there are 2 or 3 in each room, depending on how many bunk beds there are.
Okay.
And that's
Anything
pretty much
stand
it.
out of, like, important, maybe, like, do I notice monks putting, like locking their
Nope.
bunks or anyway? Okay. Is there any
There are no
personal
locks.
effects near the beds at all?
Nope. Occasionally you'll see like some sort of prayer bead thing.
Okay, sure.
Uh,
Anything in here, like, do they have, like, a designated clothing area? Does everyone have their own clothing? Like, how does this work?
All you see are the wardrobes.
Okay, and, I'm just gonna open the wardrobe. Why not?
So you're just going to open someone's wardrobe.
Yeah, why not? Fuck it.
All right, you open a wardrobe. You see robes hanging there. And
I proceed to take out one of the robes and I sort of, like, put it up against my body if anyone's looking, sort of thing.
well, someone is looking. The minute you open someone's wardrobe, a monk moved over and said, "Excuse me."
Yes. I like take out the robe and I like put it up against myself to sort of like see how if it fits me, that sort of thing. And I'm like just sort of looking through, like maybe they got shoes in there, and I'm like sort of applying it to my bottom of my soul to sort of, basically I'm just sort of seeing if there's clothing here that fits me. That's what it meant, like what you do in a shop, sort of thing.
Sir, those are someone. I'm going to have to ask you to put those away and leave.
Oh, are these actual? Oh, see, I was thinking that like the lunch, everything here is open for everyone to just have at. So I was looking for a change of clothing because, as you can see, I still got blood on mine.
Yes, sir. If you would like a change of clothing, they can be brought to you.
What about like I don't know, like I've seen some of the monks walking around with like this like attractive jewelry.
Attractive jewelry, sir?
Yeah. Well, a few of the people I've seen have like rings and necklaces and stuff. You know, I've seen
He
like
quirks an eyebrow at you.
yeah, I've seen all the like the gold in the rivers, and you know, a good friend of mine has a giant diamond now, and I'm just like, whoa.
If you would like jewelry, sir, it can be brought to you.
Ooh. What color was the gem that we were trying to get scraped off?
Well, we actually, I'm not certain, but the color of the stuff that
Turquoise,
was
you
getting
would've
scraped
remembered.
off was turquoise.
Yeah, yes, that sounds like a fabulous idea. I happen to really like turquoise. If you could bring
I'll-
anything like that, I mean, like, I don't know how much you guys have available, and you know, I'm trying to fit in here. I'm trying to like work out the schedule for when breakfast happens, for when bath time happens. I actually tried to get a monk to help me bathe because you know sometimes it's a little difficult for me with this leg of mine. You know.
Certainly, sir, if you would like clothing and jewelry, they can be brought to you.
Oh, fantastic! That would be absolutely lovely. In the meantime, can you tell me a little bit more about like the grounds and stuff like that? I mean,
What would you like?
I've had a look around, but like in particular, like I've noticed that you guys have a lot of alcohol here, and I was wondering where that comes from.
We make our alcohol out of a particular type of honey.
So you have bees here then?
Yes, we keep them in the backyard.
Fascinating. How is the distillery of that?
It is a
I assume you've been doing it for years, even tens of years.
well, as far as I know, the monastery has always brewed its own beverages.
I see, I see. That's very interesting. Well, where do you keep, like, because you took half of our stuff away, and I haven't found anywhere that you guys store things, so I assume you're throwing them away. But there are some things in there that, you know, eventually I'd like to get back, personal effects, you know. I had like a cigarette holder at one stage, which was very useful. It helped me not get like cigarette smoke on my hands and stuff like that. So,
If you would like a certain item returned to you from your possessions, you may speak with the abbot.
oh, so you do have them stored somewhere? That's interesting because the way that it was told to me was that you guys threw it in a river or something. I don't know.
Well, I don't know who would tell you that. That's certainly not the case.
Oh, the abbot. The abbot. Yeah.
He sort of just lowers his his eyes are half open in sort of
Suspicion.
Suspicion.
Yeah.
no, not in suspicion because it's completely obvious. It's in oh God, what's the word that I'm looking for?
Shame, derision, disdain.
Disdain. He's just sort of like his eyes are half open in disdain. Like he's just like, ugh.
I have to deal with this fucking idiot sort of thing.
This guy is. This guy has no capacity to lie, and he just said that the abbot said something that the abbot would have no reason to say, and he's rooting through our stuff, and
That's perfect.
it's
Yeah. No, that's absolutely perfect.
yeah, he's just sort of like, okay, like if you want clothing and if you want jewelry, it can be brought to you, but he's really just trying to get you to leave at this point.
What did you say your name was?
Oh, my name
Jeez,
is
Dave, making him make up names on the spot like this.
I love doing that. It's my favorite thing as a player.
my name is Yang.
Ah, Yang. Well, it's very good to meet you, Yang. My name is Rex. I am new to this area, so anything that you can do to help me feel more comfortable, I'm willing to let you do for me.
Certainly, sir. Well, I can have those things brought to you in the morning.
Yeah, I'm starting to like this place. It feels very familiar of like a really rich hotel. You know what I mean? Like I'm starting to enjoy the aspects of getting you guys to do everything for me. It's fucking. I'm starting to like it a lot.
Certainly, sir. We attempt to provide every hospitality we
Oh,
know.
fantastic! Listen, can I actually get someone to wash me? Because that's always been a struggle for me, and you know I've stayed in hotels before, and they've always found someone to help me.
Interesting. I will raise that concern with the abbot.
Fantastic.
That's not quite my department.
Oh. Well, you seem like the type of man who would wash another man. Anyways.
You're just stretching it painful.
He is so the disdain level is
If you
cranked
do
to
realize
11.
that by talking to him, you have like put him 5 extra steps away from enlightenment just because of his rage right now.
He's nowhere near enlightenment now.
He is the least enlightened monk in this monastery because of you. So
Well,
good job.
Now, at this point, I'm going to, basically just go, you are quite a good man, Yang, and then I'm going to tap him on the chest in search of a necklace.
On
Pat,
the 10th tap,
Yep, the old pat, yep.
right over the heart, so to speak, right where an amulet might rest. You don't feel anything.
Interesting. I say that out loud,
Okay.
by the way.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's like, well, I will leave you to your devices, good sir. Remember, someone will wash my junk. And then I sneak away. Well, I don't sneak away, I walk away.
You
Slump
waltz
away.
away.
Yeah.
Whistling daintily.
Okay. All right. Well, that occupied several hours while he waited for
Yeah,
someone to
yeah,
show
well,
up bath
so-
and then interact with all of them.
Yeah.
Did anybody do anything for the several hours in between breakfast and lunch?
Honestly, the only thing I could think of would be to wait till a really, really big gathered among somewhere, and then just go up there as a gang of people and try to distract one of the guys, and then somebody else just starts rooting around for stuff, or else we just kidnap someone. But apparently not everyone wears the necklace, so...
It's starting to look that way.
Yeah, and as far as
Are there
Otto,
like
I think
levels
he's
of
probably...
monkitude?
What was
Pardon?
I doing?
What'd you say, Frank?
Are there like levels of monkitude? Is there like, do certain people have like more enlightened looking robes and other monks
Oh,
or
that's what I was
something?
asking.
Even
Why,
the,
if you knew.
even the abbot wears the exact same outfit as everybody else.
Does he have any more face tattoos than anyone else does?
No. There's he doesn't have more little teardrops under his eye to
I
show
was
him.
looking for more arrows for
How many-
the
yeah, how many
light
homies died in jail?
endings.
Yeah, no.
He's not an air nomad.
Yeah, genuinely, the abbot you only know to be the abbot because he sits at the head of the table at meals and introduced himself as the abbot. Otherwise, they are all indistinguishable from each other, which means that if there are levels within the monk order,
Yeah.
there's no, at least not in their uniform, there's no way to tell if there's a difference.
But that's why I was looking for personal effects. Like maybe the more enlightened someone becomes, like
They get more prayer beads or something.
they get
Yeah.
more things like that or anything along.
They
those
get to eat
lines.
bacon. Nobody else gets to eat bacon or
Yeah.
something like that.
I don't know. Yeah. Something to distinguish
Okay.
each person from another person. So.
Yeah, I figure one of our best bets will be just to either kidnap a bunch of them until we get something we're looking for, which is going to set them all against us and try to kill us, or we figure out which ones are wearing the necklace, or where they're hiding the necklaces when not in use.
Yeah.
All right. So lunchtime happens. I assume you all go to lunch.
Yep. I'm gonna go sit next to the
Yeah.
abbot.
Oh, you're gonna sit next to the abbot? Okay.
I'm going to tell you guys, hey, grab me some like lunch stuff. I'm going to see if I can root around in the dorms or something.
Cool.
Okay.
So-
Cool.
Yeah. But,
All right.
All right.
Rex is sitting down next to the abbot. Action. Do you sit anywhere in particular?
Otto's just going to sit someplace where there's an open seat, probably a little ways away from Rex. Given how hilarious he is, it's going to be hard to hold it together.
All right. Rex, you sit down
Yeah.
for lunch next to the abbot.
Yep.
Lunch commences. For those of you who still care, Clendon has finally stopped bringing books to lunch. He's now just eating lunch.
Oh.
So
is he sobbing quietly or?
he read something in one of those books, and he's a changed man.
Yeah.
No, it just seems like the honeymoon phase is over, perhaps. You know, he no longer he can wait. He can wait for meals to conclude, so to speak. Yeah, so he's just eating.
Might be worth talking to him again now. Interesting.
Anyway, but you sit down next to the abbot. The abbot is more than welcome to have you sit down next to him. He begins to eat and
even
enjoy.
if he doesn't welcome me, I still sit next to him.
Well, yeah, he doesn't
You
say
dump a
anything.
monk out of his chair and sit down in his place next to the abbot.
Hello, Abbott.
Hello, Abby. How you doing?
I'm
I didn't actually get your first name, I believe. What is it?
It's Shaz. Shaz Regal is my full name.
Shaz Regal. Is that a Eastern European?
It's Tibetan.
Far
Oh,
eastern.
this is painful.
How exotic. So, listen, Shaz. I couldn't help but notice you gave our mutual friend Otto over there, a giant diamond, and I must say, I'm kind of jealous, actually.
Well, such things have no value here.
Oh, but it has value to me. In fact, a lot of value. So I was wondering if I could potentially get something like that for myself.
Hey, Rex?
Mhm.
What are you eating for lunch? What did you choose at the buffet?
I picked rice, and I got an egg, and I got a piece of cold meat.
Interesting. All right. Are you having alcohol to drink from the cellar, or
No.
like water?
Nothing like that. If anything,
No, not a drinker.
not much of a drinker, no.
Interesting. All right. And you say you want something. What was that last line you said?
Something of value. Something that I might like myself. Something that I could, wear to show off at the local
Might or
eatery.
might not open mysterious doors you don't want me to open. You know.
Well, we can certainly. I've already been given your request for clothing and jewelry.
Oh, yes. Well, that's partly the same request then, I guess. So I was just making sure that you got my little note.
You may notice that his eyes are also half open, and he's just sort of staring at you.
This is perfect. This is exactly where I wanted Rex to be with these guys. Tell me,
I
what
suppose
do you...
we could say that everything's going according to plan.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So tell me, what exactly do you do during the day? Because I only see you when you eat. And I, take a bite, I, stab a piece of meat with my fork, and I'm just, chewing with my mouth open as I wait for his reply sort of thing.
Oh, I know the plan. Dave's trying to get himself kicked out of Shangri-La. That's what all
that
this
works?
belligerence
Oh my
is
God.
about. It's brilliant! Brilliant!
Well, besides prayer and other duties that are shared amongst all monks, I am generally in charge of the bureaucratic side of running this institution.
Interesting. What type of duties do you have to perform as a bureaucrat of monks?
Managing supplies, managing living space, managing troublemakers. You know, Rex, I couldn't help but notice that you've been exceptionally snoopy.
Ah, you noticed. I'm glad you noticed, because I actually left quite a lot of evidence to see whether you would or not. You see, I'm looking for something to occupy my time now that I have been strictly forbidden from leaving this holy ground. I say that as I stab my egg and, maybe, the yolk runs onto the table or something like that as I hold it up with my fork and point it at him, and then I take a bite out of it. And I was like, so... what I was going to investigate was things that I could potentially do to help my fellow man in Shangri-La. And I stab the
Sure.
fork noisily into the plate. Take another bite of meat or something like that.
I am not aware of what you think you can get away with on the surface world, but we are not quite as dim-witted or as gullible. We are, however, patient. Still, be that as it may, there are limits to how many chances we will give an individual.
Chances, you say? I don't think I've done anything wrong. What if I... Are you mad at me?
Fake it
Rex?
here. Fake it here.
Rex, Dave,
Yeah.
as Rex, I need you to make a body roll.
Interesting. This will be terrible.
The food's been poisoned.
He breaks your
hard.
other leg.
1 success.
You are getting woozy and sleepy.
You sneaky fucking oven.
Literally exactly what happens. You face down into your meal. Maction, if you were at all paying attention to their interaction, you will see this.
Indeed. I have.
You see Rex faceplant his meal. And 2 monks come over, and they pick him up by underneath his armpits.
Kick him a couple times.
And by his ankles, and they carry him away.
Okay.
And there's a couple murmurs from like villagers, but for the most part, other monks aren't really paying attention.
What to do?
What happens with my
All
cane?
right.
Is someone taking the cane? Like, what happens?
Yeah, your stuff goes with you.
Okay, cool.
They're discreetly jabbing you with it when they think the abbot isn't looking.
And we'll take our hour break with that having happened.
Oh my god, plot, finally! Jesus Christ! Hey guys, hope you're enjoying this stream. If you are, make sure you give the channel a follow. It's been a pretty interesting episode, but we'll be back in 3 to 5 minutes with the final hour for Hex. And then there'll be an hour break before we get started into our second game, which is Everyone is John. Alright guys, we'll be back in 3 to 5. Don't go anywhere. Peace!